Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Astaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Hare Krishna. So, in honor of this most glorious month of Kartik, we'll discuss today the very glorious pastime of Mother Yashoda binds Lord Krishna, which is very elaborately described in Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto, 9th chapter. So I'll read just the first verse and purport, and then we'll discuss. So, Shri Shuka Uvacha Ekada Grahadasishu Yashoda Nanda Gehini Karmantara Niyuktasu Nirmamantha Swayam Dadi Yani Yani Haga Itani Tadbala Charitani Cha Dadi Nirmantare Kale Smaranti Tanya Gayata. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shukadev Goswami continued, one day, when Mother Yashoda saw that all the maidservants were engaged in other household affairs, she personally began to churn the yogurt. While churning, she remembered the childish activities of Krishna, and in her own way she composed songs and enjoyed singing to herself about all those activities. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, quoting from Vaishnava Toshini of Srila Sanatan Goswami, says that the incident of Krishna breaking the pot of yogurt and being bound by Mother Yashoda took place on the Deepavali day, or Deepa Malika. Even today in India, this festival is generally celebrated very gorgeously in the month of Kartik by fireworks and lights, especially in Bombay. It is to be understood that among all the cows of Nanda Maharaj, several of Mother Yashoda's cows ate only grasses so flavorful that the grasses would automatically flavor the milk. Mother Yashoda wanted to collect the milk from these cows, make it into yogurt, and churn it into butter personally, since he thought that this child, Krishna, was going to the houses of neighborhood Gopas and Gopis to steal butter, because he did not like the milk and yogurt ordinarily prepared. While churning the butter, Mother Yashoda was singing about the childhood activities of Krishna. It was formerly a custom that if one wanted to remember something constantly, he would transform it into poetry, or have this done by a professional poet. It appears that Mother Yashoda did not want to forget Krishna's activities at any time. Therefore, she poeticized all of Krishna's childhood activities, such as the killing of Putana, Akasura, Shakatasura, and Dranarvata. While churning the butter, she sang about these activities in poetical form. This should be the practice of persons eager to remain in Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. This incident shows how Krishna-conscious Mother Yashoda was. To stay in Krishna consciousness, we should follow such persons. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam
Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Yeshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, this Kartik month, as we've been discussing, is extraordinarily potent for all of us to perform any devotional service, even the honoring of prasadam, the hearing of Krishna Katha, the chanting of japa, the lighting of a lamp, the reading of prayers, the reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, all of which we've done or will do today, is extraordinarily potent for us in this month of Kartik. Potent means that there's a big result. Some effort, big result. And that is the very special blessings of this month of Kartik. And what is the most famous pastime in the month of Kartik? Damodar month. Right? Damodar Lila. This pastime of Mother Yashoda binding Krishna. So, when we look around, we say Krishna, the meaning of Krishna means all attractive. And we see that we have so many attractions, right? If we think about the relationships that we have in this world with our mother, our father, our spouse, our friend, there's beautiful qualities in these people that attract us, whether it be their sense of humor, their wit, their intelligence, their courage, their gratitude, their humbleness, their renunciation. All these beautiful qualities are there. And that's what attracts us to each other, are these qualities. Well, Krishna is the reservoir of all qualities. Where do these qualities come from, we may wonder. You think, oh, well, I saw them in my father, and so I picked them up. I saw them in my mother. There's lineage, we see these qualities pass. But where do they come from, ultimately? They come from Krishna. And that is what makes them all attractive. All the different things that attract us in this world to different people, Krishna has it in full. And he reciprocates with all of his devotees in a very loving way. So there are 50 principal qualities that all humans have. And as you go from the humans to Lord Shiva, to Vishnu, ultimately to Krishna. And Krishna has 4 unique qualities that are not possessed by anybody else. He has 4 qualities that are unique to just him. One is his Rupa Madhurya. It means he has a form that is so beautiful. It is beyond any beauty we have ever seen or can imagine. We can only understand through Shastra. So beautiful is his form. So he has this Rupa Madhurya. Second, he has this Venu Madhurya, this flute Only Krishna has this flute. And when he plays the flute, these sound vibrations, when they enter the ears, they melt the heart in pure love and ecstasy. It is such a sweet, transcendental sound. You know, we tune on the radio, or if not, we don't turn dials anymore, I guess. We hit buttons, trying to find something that'll satisfy us. But there's nothing as satisfying as Krishna's flute. When the birds in Vrindavan hear the flute of Krishna, they stop in the air. They don't even flap their wings. They're stunned by the transcendental sound of this flute. The calves are drinking milk, and they just hold the milk in their mouth. They cannot even swallow, hearing the transcendental sound of Krishna's flute. So this flute is very sweet, and it is unique to Krishna. The third unique quality is Krishna is surrounded by extraordinary, beautiful, and wonderful devotees who have this great love for Krishna. And they exhibit these amazing qualities that Krishna enjoys reciprocating with. And so that is his third. And his fourth quality that is unique to him is his Lila Madhurya, his pastimes. He has pastimes that are so remarkable and so amazing that they attract all of us to his eternal service. And these pastimes are very, very unique. And of course, today we'll discuss one of these very important pastimes of Krishna. But Krishna's pastimes, they must be understood in Guru Parampara. Because when Krishna does his pastimes as Matsya Avatar, easy for us to understand. When he comes as Kurma Avatar, easy for us to understand. Even Lord Nrsimhadev, he comes. But when Krishna comes as Lord Ram or Krishna, there are some activities that we don't quite understand. Why he was banished to the forest, how he left Mother Sita, how Krishna can steal. What kind of God is this? He is a thief? People speak this way. But actually, when we hear the purport and the why of these activities from our acharyas, it actually enhances the greatness of God, enhances the extraordinary ability and love of the Supreme Lord. So when Krishna steals, it is an extraordinary demonstration of his love. Right? So the activities of Krishna, these pastimes, they must be heard in Guru Parampara, the commentaries of our acharyas. Because otherwise we'll not understand. How is it that Mother Yashoda will bind Krishna with a rope? What kind of mother does that? Or chasing him with a stick. How Krishna can run away in fear. How God can have fear. We may wonder. How he can cry. Right? So these things we see in this pastime, if we don't hear them through the right lens, they'll become bewildering. But thankfully, Srila Shukadev Goswami has narrated this pastime in great detail. So we'll discuss his commentary. We'll discuss commentary from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who Srila Prabhupada quoted in this verse. We'll also discuss some commentary from Srila Jiva Goswami. And if you don't have the book, His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami has put together this book, Damodar. It's such an amazing book. And so much detail is given on this pastime. So in the short time we have, we'll discuss just a short synopsis of this pastime. And then we'll offer a ghee lamp and recitation of Damodar Astakam. And then we'll chant some japas. Is that okay?
Yes.
Shall we go on a ride? All right. So we have to go to Vrindavan. Who wants to go to Vrindavan? All of us? All right. So I want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine the most beautiful place you have ever seen. And then multiply that millions and millions of times. The most beautiful place. And this is Sri Vrindavan Dham. It is a place where the walking paths are so beautifully laid out. There are streams everywhere. The air is scented with aromatic flowers. There are wonderful and beautiful birds chirping poetic songs. The temperature is always perfect. The wind is just right. And this is the land of Vrindavan. So beautiful and perfect. And that is where Krishna's pastimes take place. Okay, so we are in Vrindavan. Now, as in this verse, very importantly, it says, Ekada. Once, Mother Yashoda was engaged in the process of churning butter. So Mother Yashoda is the mother of Lord Krishna. And on this particular day, she had an opportunity that was not presented ordinarily. And that was for her to personally churn the butter. Normally the maidservants were there, and they would take that service. Anytime Mother Yashoda tried to grab the churning rod, they would say, no, it's for us to do. And they would have. But this day, because all of the servants and household members were going to prepare for the Indra Puja that was going to happen the next day, Mother Yashoda saw her opportunity. And she was thinking, as Srila Prabhupada comments, this Krishna is stealing butter from everywhere. Why is not eating my butter? Let me churn some really special butter today. And then my Lalo will be happy. Any mother who sees child eating somewhere else has this natural, why I'm not able to. So she got up early this morning and she decided that I am going to churn the butter. And so she puts the milk, the buttermilk, churns it into yogurt, and then churning it into butter. And she is churning. And as she is churning, what is she doing? She is singing about the pastimes of the Lord. As she is singing about the pastimes of the Lord, her earrings are shaking and making a nice ting, 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 ting. Her bracelets are making the sound ting, ting, ting. And like this, all of the bells and ornaments on her body are accompanying her singing with this beautiful sound of the kartals. And the churning rod was going gru, 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 just like a perfect mridanga. And so she had kartal and mridanga accompanying her singing of the Lord. And this is actually the mood of service. It is engaging everything. Her mind, remembering the pastimes, how her Krishna killed the demon Putana, how he was, running in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, chasing after the cows, how he was performing all these pastimes, remembering. She was chanting the glories of the Lord. She was hearing her own narrations, and she was engaging her whole body in physical way. This is the consciousness of a pure devotee of the Lord, fully engaged. And so in this way, she was churning the butter. Now every morning, before Krishna would wake up, Mother Yashoda would come to his bedside and be there the moment he woke up and welcome him into the day, care for him in such a loving way. But this day, Krishna woke up and he said, what? Where is Mother? And then he heard Mother singing and gru, 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 hearing the churning rod. And she says, Mother is not here? I'm hungry. And he crawls off to the bed and runs. He's a young boy. This pastime takes place in Gokul before they had moved to Chattikar. So he was a young boy. And our Acharyas explained, he was sort of waddling over to his mother. And he sees his mother churning, and he says, how to stop her? And so what he does, he grabs the churning rod, and he stops the rod. And why he did that? Mothers are very proud when children do something for the first time. He had never been able to grab the rod. He says, I'll show Mother how much I'm growing and how strong I am. And so he stopped that rod, and he became very proud. Ooh, I actually accomplished this. Very nice. But our Acharyas comment that the churning that he stopped was an instruction to all of us. That the Gyanis will churn and churn and churn all of the Shastra and come to no factual conclusion. There is no need to churn the Shastra when simply the goal is to know Krishna. And she is already knowing Krishna as her beloved child, and so there is no need for her to continue to churn. So So our acharyas can't plan. That's why he stopped this churning of the. So we should study Shastra to the point to awaken our relationship with him. So in this way, he says, Mother, I am hungry. Now, how the Lord can be hungry? He is the source of everything. He is not hungry in our material understanding, like all of us may have come here hungry and honored nice prasad. Krishna was hungry for the love of his devotee. That is what he is, thirsty to drink from all of us, which is our love for him. He is aching in separation from us. And so, when he went to Mother Yashoda, his thirst was going to be quenched by her love. And so like a child, he jumped onto her lap and began to drink milk from her. And he is drinking milk from her. And there is this transcendental competition. See, in the spiritual world, there is no shortage of resources to serve Krishna. If you want to make a garland for Krishna, you pluck a flower and immediately a new one comes. There's no waiting for time. You want to make some, mango juice, you pull a mango from the tree. You want to make some apple juice from the same tree, you pull an apple. Immediately a new one comes. There are kalpavrikshas, these desire trees. There is whatever facilities one wants to engage in service, it is there. And it is in unlimited quantities. The storeroom is never empty. This is the condition of the spiritual world. So Mother Yashoda's milk would flow and flow. There was no end to her love. And Krishna, there was no end to his taste to drink that love. And so there was a competition between Mother Yashoda's milk and Krishna's belly, which would end or fill first. And this was going back and forth. While Mother Yashoda was churning the butter, she had put a pot of milk on the stove. But no ordinary milk. Nanda Maharaj had 900,000 cows. But she had kept aside some very, very special group of these cows. And those cows, she was giving a very flavorful type of grass, a very rare and special grass. And that grass-fed cow was then producing milk that she wanted to use to make into butter for her beloved Krishna. So this milk was boiling on the stove. And the milk has a thought. And you may think, wait a minute, how does milk have a thought? Everything in the spiritual world is animate. It has consciousness. Srila Prabhupada tells a story of how Mother Yashoda would cook rice. She would put rice in the cooker, turn it on, and then she would go off to do some activities. Now, we know how to know when rice is done. You come and you pinch it, and soft is ready. How she would do? She would just yell, "Rice, are you done yet?" And the rice would respond, "Yes, I'm cooked." Okay, and that's how. Even the rice has life. So like this, the milk has consciousness. And the milk is seeing the exchange between Krishna and Mother Yashoda. And the milk is thinking, wait a minute, Mother Yashoda is the greatest of all devotees. She is Yashoda. What is the meaning of Yashoda? The giver of fame. She is giving fame to Krishna by this exact pastime that is taking place. And so she'll have no end of her supply of milk. Then when Krishna will drink us, when we can be used to please Krishna, it will never happen. And the milk is thinking, if I cannot be used in the service of Krishna, what is the point of my existence? I have no purpose to live. Better we commit suicide. And so the milk began to jump out of the pot and fall into the stove. We materially think, when you forget to turn off the heat, it overflows. It looked like that. But actually, there was not overflowing due to excess heat. It was overflowing to understanding that I cannot be used in Krishna's service. There is no point to my existence. Actually, our spirit soul, it only finds bliss when it is connected to Krishna. when we connect in loving service to Him, then the soul finds happiness. Other than that, it is the ups and downs of material life. Some ups, lots of downs. But the devotees understand. So this milk understood, no purpose. And so Mother Yashoda, seeing the milk overflow, Krishna is on her lap drinking her milk. What to do? So she says, let me run. And she puts Krishna down for a moment and goes to the kitchen to attend to the overflowing milk. Now the overflowing milk, seeing Mother Yashoda run to her, becomes, embarrassed. And it stops overflowing. She didn't turn off the heat yet. Why it stopped overflowing? Because it felt guilty. Wait a minute. Now I have interrupted Krishna's sweet exchange with Mother Yashoda. This is the selfless service of the devotee. The milk was thinking, because of our selfishness in jumping into the fire, we have now interrupted Krishna enjoying the milk of his mother. And it actually jumped back inside, thinking, this is not proper. So when Mother Yashoda went to attend to the milk, Krishna, thinking, how my mother could leave me. Nanda Maharaj has 900,000 cows. What's one pot of milk? I'm hungry. We know sometimes, right? Children don't understand. Well, I'm the most important. So he decided, I'm going to get back at my mother. So he bites his lip like this. And he takes a small stone, a stone they use to grind spices. And he pokes a hole in the pot. And all of the yogurt comes flying out of the pot. And he's like, oh yes, now she'll be really upset having broken the pot. But he knows when a child does something wrong, then what happens? Better run away. Better get out of the sight of the crime. So he runs away. Mother Yashoda comes back from the stove and sees this thing. What happened here? And she sees all the half-churned yogurt into butter on the floor. And she investigates and knows, this is only the action of my naughty Krishna. Only he could do such a thing. She saw that he broke it with such precision it made no sound. Otherwise she would have heard the breaking of the pot. But he broke it with a small stone. Said only Krishna could do such a thing. But where did he go? Where did he go? Krishna ran away in fear. But a thief, when they run away, they always leave some clues. And what clues he left? He had stepped in some of the butter, and he left buttery footprints all the way to the storeroom. So Krishna had fled the scene and went to the storeroom where there were pots and pots of butter. And Krishna had turned upside down one of the grinding mortars and was seated on top of it, folding his legs and dipping his hands in and eating butter. And he was also feeding the butter to all of the monkeys. He was enjoying together. Acharya is saying, why he was eating, you might wonder, why he ate that butter when there was fresh butter in the pot his mother was churning. He thought, mother went to take care of this milk, I'll show her. And he said, I'm going to go and eat the old stomachache, and then they'll have to take me to Mathura and spend lots of money to pay the doctor to get me fixed. That's what kids do, right? So he was eating butter and serving the kids. Mother Yashoda, following the footprints, she became upset. And she brought one stick with her. She said, I have to teach my child. Now this is a motherly relationship. Krishna was so eager to experience the relationship of mother and father. Right? Who will treat the Supreme Lord as their child? Right? Who has the courage to treat the Supreme Lord? You just bow and offer your respects. But Krishna wanted to experience this rasa, this relationship of a loving mother. And so Mother Yashoda is playing this pastime. We should not think that she is chasing with a stick because she has lost control of her senses. No. To give Krishna the pleasure of this relationship, she is performing this pastime. And Krishna, to give Mother Yashoda the pleasure of experiencing the motherly relationship, is also enacting these pastimes. And this is what our acharyas tell us. So Krishna is eating, and all of a sudden the monkeys flee, and he thinks, uh-oh. He is very attentive to hear, because Mother Yashoda had bangles and earrings and bells on her way, but she was very quietly walking, quietly coming. And Krishna looks and sees her in the doorway. Oh boy. But he saw something that he had never seen before. Mother Yashoda was carrying a stick. That meant this was serious business now. And so he had a split second, he had to think what to do. And he decided to run. And he ran. He was very intelligent. He thought, if I run to the front gate of the house in the courtyard, the public is walking by, Mother won't beat me in public. So Krishna ran out and was running through the courtyard to the main gate. And Mother Yashoda is chasing after him, running after him. Now, this is very interesting. Mother Yashoda is chasing after Krishna. Krishna is running away from Mother Yashoda. There are flowers on Mother Yashoda's head. They're the Malati flowers. And they are seeing this. How the Supreme Personality of Godhead is running from Mother Yashoda. Who is this great personality? And they start falling from her head as she's running to be at her feet, thinking, we cannot be at her head. Better we be at her feet. And like this, she is running and running. The yogis and jnanis, after millions of years of intense austerity meditation, cannot even come close to catching Krishna. Yet Mother Yashoda, wearing a sari decorated in jewels, with a stick in hand, is chasing after Krishna. Can she catch him? Yes. How is she going to catch him? With her love. So Krishna is running and running. And he thinks, is she behind me? Is she not? And just at the moment he looks back, Mother Yashoda grabbed him. He slowed down to look back, and she got him. And now Krishna is stuck. Stick in hand, caught red-handed, butter all over him. No way out of this predicament. What does the child do? They cry. So Krishna started to cry. And the second sign of danger manifested. First sign, stick. Second sign, up until this point, every time Krishna cried, Mother Yashoda would take her sari and wipe the tears away. But this time she was not wiping. And he thought, uh-oh, I've really done it today. She's not even wiping my tears? So then he begins to rub his eyes more and more to make more tears, thinking something might happen. And Mother Yashoda is not relenting. And she begins to chastise Krishna. Oh, you king of the thieves! You monkey lover! You butter thief! And like this, and she is actually, our child, she is smiling in speaking to Krishna this way, while chastising him. And Krishna is becoming scared and fearful. And it wasn't me! It wasn't me! And our Acharya's comment, that finally, seeing that Krishna was becoming overly fearful, he was, shivering, tears were flowing, she puts down the stick. Now, how Mother Yashoda can create fear in the Supreme Lord? Fear personified is fearful of Krishna, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Controller. Yet Mother Yashoda has made Krishna fearful in his heart. This is the rasa between Krishna and his mother. Such deep is the love from Mother Yashoda that even Krishna was feeling real fear. It is not pretend. Real fear. Real tears were flowing from his eyes. So Mother Yashoda puts down the stick, thinking, okay, I've maybe got him too far. Not enough. So this very funny conversation takes place. Mother Yashoda is chastising him as the king of thieves and monkey lover and this. And Krishna says, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. And then Mother Yashoda says, explain yourself. And so what do kids do? They fabricate some story. So she tells, Mother, it wasn't me. When you went to run to get the milk, one of your ankle bells hit the pot and it broke. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. And I went into the storeroom and the monkeys were taking it, so I was telling them to go away. And like this, he's telling Mother Yashoda. And she is laughing, he is laughing, and knows I'm not getting away with this. So this exchange continues. And Mother Yashoda decides, Krishna, I have to teach him how to do right from wrong. She's thinking mother. She is not thinking the Supreme Lord. So she decided that better I bind you to this grinding mortar. I'll tie you. Because she had to continue all the household duties, right? She was alone in the home. And she was fearful that if she did not tie him, he would get into trouble and hurt himself. Not out of punishment, but out of protecting him. And also, when she called him the monkey lover, he said, fine, I'm the monkey lover, I'll go to the forest. So she thought, if I leave him alone, he'll run to the forest. So she decided to bind Krishna to this mortar. So she decided to bind Krishna. She got one rope. Child is yay big. Got one rope this much. And she put around the mortar and around the belly. And what happened? It wouldn't fit. It was 2 inches short. So she went back to the storeroom and got another rope, double the size, tied it together, pulled it around. It's 2 inches short. Wait a minute. I just doubled the rope. She went and got some more. And some more. And like this wasn't happening. By this time, Krishna's crying, help me, Balaram, Mother Rohini. Mother Rohini and Balaram had gone to Upananda's house for some program. They were gone. But the neighborhood gopis and gopas came. And the elderly gopas came to the courtyard of the fence. And they're watching this drama unfold. Mother Yashoda is in the courtyard. She's trying to bind Krishna. Krishna's crying. And the gopis are thinking, oh, now, see, every time we are complaining about Krishna stealing our butter, Mother Yashoda is saying, oh, my innocent Krishna never does this stuff. He certainly must have done something today to earn this type of punishment. Now she finally realizes who is her Krishna. See, Krishna used to play so many fun games with the gopis. He would go into their house and he would steal their butter. They would try to catch him and they would never catch him. Actually, they tried to bind Krishna before this pastime. Once Krishna went into one of the gopis' home to steal butter. And she was so frustrated trying to catch him that she said, I'm going to tie him up right here. And then I'll bring Mother Yashoda and prove. So she gets the rope, she caught him, and she's tying, but somehow the knot is not going. She's tying it again, it's not going. And Krishna says, oh, Gopi, this cannot be tied. You have to tie it this way. And she's tying, no, it's not tied. He said, okay, here, let me show you. And so she said, put your hand, and Krishna ties her up, puts a knot, and then runs away. And Gopi is stuck there saying, like this, they were always being defeated by Krishna. And Mother Yashoda always said, oh, my Lalo, he's so sweet, innocent, he never would steal your butter. I have so much butter in my house. Why he has to come to your house? So the gopis were very excited to see this pastime, thinking, oh, now Mother Yashoda knows. So they decided, let us bring our rope too. Let's see Mother Yashoda tie him now. Something mystical is happening. Every time they add to the rope, it's not binding. So they're adding more rope and more rope. It's not binding. And the gopis are saying, give up, Mother Yashoda. It's not going to happen. And Mother Yashoda says, no, I will protect my child. I will tie. Now Nanda Maharaj has 900,000 cows. Each cow you have to tie. So how much rope he must have? Enough to bind Krishna's belly? Enough? No. Krishna's belly is the whole universe. How much rope you would need to tie around the entire creation? Just in the prior chapter, in chapter 8, Shukadeva Goswami explains how when Krishna ate mud, she looked into Krishna's mouth, and what did she see? The whole. This is beyond our comprehension. How the whole universe can be inside the size of one's mouth. This is not just some imagery. So when Mother Yashoda is trying to bind, she has not sufficient ropes to encircle the whole universe. She is seeing belly. Yo big, this big. So she emptied the whole storehouse of rope. All the gopis brought from their house, rope after rope, tied, always 2 inches short. She was perspiring and sweating and becoming tired, but she was determined to protect Krishna. Finally, seeing this strong determination, Krishna finally allowed himself to be bound. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains that these 2 inches that the rope is short is very instructive. That to capture the love of Krishna, to acquire this love of Krishna, you need 2 things. Persevering. Yes, we're going to find obstacles in our path of devotional service. But if we remain determined, enthusiastic, then we have hope of awakening this love of Krishna in our heart. It will not happen by just casual effort. Like anything in life, to achieve anything great, it takes some sincere effort. So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, 1, we must be determined. But our own determination is not enough. We must obtain the mercy of Krishna. When we have the mercy of Krishna and we are determined, those 2 combined, then one can bind Krishna with their love. Mother Yashoda was not binding Krishna with ropes. He only becomes bound by the love of his devotee. And this pastime shows how powerful bhakti is. You know, you can perform some mystic tapasya to obtain some power to float in the air, to become bigger than the giant or smaller than the stone, and all these things. You can acquire these mystic siddhis. You can acquire, some knowledge to enter into the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. But none of that can obtain the potency to interact with Krishna this way. It is only by the process of bhakti. Bhakti is so powerful, so extraordinary, that it even subdues the will of the Supreme Lord. And that is what he is showing by this pastime, of being willing to be bound to this mortar. Remember, it is only by the mercy of Krishna that it can happen, but it is coupled with the determination of the devotee. And this is the extraordinary power of bhakti that is shown in this pastime. So Mother Yashoda binds Krishna, and she goes to attend to her affairs. Well, Krishna is sitting in the courtyard crying. That's what kids do, right? Get some attention. Finally, Lord Balaram comes back. And Lord Balaram sees Krishna tied up. Who has the courage to tie Krishna? Don't you know who I am? I am Sankarshana. I am Ananta Shesh. I can flood all of Vraj with the poison from my hoods. Who had the audacity to tie Krishna up like this? Then someone told fiery, mad Lord Balaram, it was Mother Yashoda. And he turned timid like a mouse. Oh, Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda comes out with a stick. Oh, you have something to say, Lord Balaram? You have something to say? Yes, this is Krishna. He is Krishna tu Bhagavan Swayam. He is the source of all incarnation. He is the source of Matsya and Kurma and Narsingha. Mother, oh, yeah. This is Narsingha, huh? One little cat meows and he comes running to me in fear. That is your Narsingha, huh? And Lord Balaram says, please untie him. He is crying. Krishna is crying. Please untie him. Mother Yashoda says, otherwise I'll tie you up. And she went back. So Balaram says, Lord Balaram, Krishna, I tell you every day, why are you doing this mischief? Now you've got yourself in this predicament. I can't help you. I tell you why you have to create so much mischief around stealing butter and pinching the babies when they're sleeping and letting the calves out of the pen. All these things I keep telling you. His older brother, right? He's instructing. And so he's like this. And they were stuck. And actually, Mother should have left. And of course, when Mother left, Krishna stopped crying. Right? Now they were having fun, enjoying, I'm bound to this mortar. So when Krishna was bound to this mortar, he had one more activity to perform. And what was that activity? Huh? The 2 trees. Now it's interesting. Krishna had seen these trees throughout his childhood. He was seeing them every day in his childhood. Why on this day he decided to relieve them? Was it just by chance that the mortar got stuck between the 2 trees and they fell? No. He desired to relieve them. And our acharyas comment that he was bound to the mortar and he felt, what it's like to be bound. And he had some compassion for Nalu, Kuvera, and Manigriva, who were bound in the form of these trees. And so from that experience, he decided that he will relieve them. And so thus, tied to the mortar, he dragged the mortar between the 2 trees. These 2 giant Arjuna trees came crashing down. Thunderous sound came out. Everybody became fearful of what happened. Of course, how Nalu, Kuvera, and Manigriva became embodied in these trees. This many years ago, prior to this, Manigriva and Nalu, Kuvera are the sons of Kuber, the treasurer. Very nice lineage, right? My father is a treasurer. But with this birth often comes pride, ego. And so these 2 boys were enjoying, in a very not so nice way. And Narada Muni had happened upon this assembly where they were enjoying in the water. They were not clothed and they were intoxicating. And because they did not receive Narada Muni as one should, he wanted to teach them the right etiquette. And so he cursed them. But when a devotee curses, it is always full of blessings. So he cursed them to be these 2 Arjuna trees. But he blessed them that there will be Arjuna trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. All the residents of Vrindavan were eager to see these early childhood pastimes of Krishna. But actually, Manigriva and Nalu, Kuvera were able to enjoy these pastimes from morning to night. No, they were never told to go home. The childhood boys said, okay, it's time to go home to your family. But these 2, Manigriva and Nalu, Kuvera, were able to enjoy these pastimes. So while it was a curse that they had to stand in these trees, they ultimately were delivered by Krishna in this pastime and were able to return back home to their eternal position. So this pastime of Damodar Lila just gave a short synopsis of so many important aspects of the process of devotional service. How bhakti is so powerful. There is no process beyond it which is so strong it can even attract the attention of the Supreme Lord. And this relationship between Mother Yashoda and Krishna, it is very deep, and we must hear it again from commentary, because otherwise, when we see these things, we start to get confused. How this can be, how that can be. But by hearing from Guru Parampara, we can get the actual knowledge of how to understand, and we can experience the greatness of devotional service. And Krishna came to this world for this purpose, to perform these pastimes, to awaken within all of us this attraction and desire to take to the process of devotional service. That is why he performed these pastimes. This whole 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam is full of stories that when we read them, we become attracted to this person who is all attractive. All the qualities we see around us, they are present in Krishna in full. and He is eagerly waiting to reciprocate with each and every one of us. Just as He reciprocates with Mother Yashoda in one way, He reciprocates with the cowherd boys in another way, with Nanda Maharaj in a different way, all based on the individuality. And that is the great position of the Supreme Lord. So, by studying this and hearing this pastime, we can hope to make some progress in our process of devotional service and make giant steps during this month of Kartik in purifying the heart and awakening love of the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai. Any questions, discussions, comments? Okay. So shall we sing Damodarastakam?
Yes.
Okay. So first, before we sing, we're going to read the translation